Lego and Dungeons and Dragons. Who'd have thought it, hey? Some may say it was a long time coming, but have Lego made the D&D set gamers truly deserve? Hit it! I know, the captain's already talked about this.
It was an interesting exploration.
It was, but his focus was primarily from a Lego collector's perspective, which is legit and all, but it ignores the very market Lego are courting with this set.
It's kind of a big deal, actually. I mean, how often have Hasbro and Lego joined forces to release a new toy?
You don't often see huge competitors in the toy market cooperating, but it's not unprecedented. Lego and Hasbro joined forces to release the Optimus Prime set in 2022, and Peppa Pig sets are coming later this year.
The Peppa Pig figs are weird. I mean, why don't they have two eyes on each side of their faces?
Yeah, that would have made them more accurate to their cartoon versions.
Although, admittedly, it would have given the children nightmares.
Can we get back to the matter at hand, please?
Sorry.
If you're not familiar with tabletop RPGs, it can be a little tricky to get your head around them, but essentially, it all starts with a handful of rules, some sheets of paper, pens or pencils, some unusually shaped dice, and that's it. Everything else comes out of your imagination. Of course, you could build on that by purchasing ready-made campaigns, use pewter figurines to represent your characters, or anything else that comes to hand, really.
Star Wars figures can be pretty useful in that regard.
Exactly. And the plethora of Lego minifigs can be too. In fact, Lego had already produced a fair number of specific medieval characters over the years, which could be used for this exact purpose. But at the end of the day, it's really all about your imagination. The Dungeon Master describes the scene, the players perform actions whose outcome are based on the results of those die rolls. Really, if you're resourceful, you can play D&D for very little outlay.
How much do ready-made campaigns cost these days?
Anything between $5 and $30.
Per session?
Per campaign. These can last days or even weeks, and once one's done, you rarely, if ever, return to it again, hence the market for new published adventures and the appeal to create your own unique ones.
And how does that translate to Lego?
It should translate extremely well. D&D's all about creativity, and so is Lego. It should be a match made in heaven. In fact, any existing set can be a setting for an adventure if you're so inclined. Or of course you can use parts to create your own environments. So in that respect, this new purposely made Lego Dungeons and Dragons set could be seen as one of those ready-made campaigns.
Isn't it just a display model?
I thought so too at first, but hidden within it is actually a lovingly detailed adventure. You have gold coins and potions spread about everywhere. There's a mystery to uncover, loot to find, monsters to fight, and a few NPCs that can either help or hinder you on your quest. It's all detailed in this adventure book Lego have created, which they're making available separately.
That wasn't obvious from the promotional images.
Why wasn't the adventure book included in the box? But without it, wouldn't it limit the number of customers who could have been introduced to D&D?
I'll get on to that in a sec. But to go back to the hidden adventure, you can see a lot of care has been put into it, with various areas to explore, multiple ways to reach each section, and flexibility as to how to achieve the ultimate objective, as traditional adventures usually offer.
Sounds good to me.
It does sound good, and yet I see a problem. This is a short campaign. I'd wager it would take you longer to build the set than to play the adventure itself.
And that's a bad thing because...
Think back to what I said earlier. Usually, campaigns take days, not hours. That's the appeal of them. You meet up day after day or week after week and continue where you left off. And all for very little money.
Aside from booze and snacks.
Oh, I see. Whereas here, it's $360 for a single evening's entertainment.
It's actually a little bit more than that, JJ. That adventure book will cost you an additional 2,700 insider points.
How much is that in real money?
Around $20.
But you can get it free as a digital download.
Very true, but come on. D&D is physical media, and so is Lego. It's nice and all that you can get it for free, but a Dungeon Master would appreciate having all the info in their hand, especially since there's space in the booklet to write notes and stuff.
Nothing's stopping you from printing out a copy.
Yeah, of course you could, but come on! How much does printing a booklet actually cost? Would it have hurt the bottom line of the most successful toy maker in the world so much to just include it with every set as a bonus? That's cheap, man. Only the best is good enough.
So you're saying this might not appeal to D&D gamers?
I'm saying it's not cost-effective, but I'm sure some will enjoy it. I see, however, a bigger problem.
Bigger than the money situation?
Definitely. It's at the core of the RPG experience. Now, it's true, some campaigns need you to take on new characters, but the beauty of D&D and other games of that ilk is that usually your characters come with you from adventure to adventure. They grow along their journeys. Here, though, the 4 generic adventurers are predetermined.
Hang on, that's not exactly fair. You're able to change the character's gender by using the extra heads included in the set. Heck, even the bad guy can swap gender, and the orc even has a choice of weapons.
Hey, that's exactly like what the captain did with his ill-fated Stargate project.
Never let a good idea go to waste, Gigi.
Granted, that's an excellent move on LEGO's part, and the wizard can even use different magic spells represented by various printed 1x2 tiles, but it doesn't go far enough in my opinion. We'd need extra legs and torsos so we could choose different outfits or armor for our characters, for instance. And of course, we should have the choice of bringing any type of character we'd like, not just the 4 races and professions on offer here.
Steady on, though. This is but the first set, and we know there's a D&D minifigure collection coming out later this year.
True. I'll grant you it's a step in the right direction. But I think what true gamers would really want is some kind of fully flexible battle pack offering them enough versatility to create the character that suits them best.
I love it.
There's a wrinkle to your idea, though.
What is it?
Well, although it's easy to remove the hands from torsos, it's not actually a legal move, and LEGO don't recommend it for fear the hand might break in half, leaving one part stuck inside the arm.
Oh, I wouldn't like that if that were to happen to my character.
True, that's a good point, but really...
What about if they all wore gloves?
Problem solved.
There you go. And I still contend that such versatility would be what many role-playing gamers would prefer.
You mean over an adventure that may well be too simple for ardent gamers?
While newcomers to D&D have to pay $20 on top of a pretty expensive set just to get introduced to the genre?
Exactly. Plus, don't forget, the dragon doesn't actually fit properly on the set, unlike the one in the original proposal. From what I've seen from reviewers, they all complain how tricky it is to even match the look of the front of the box.
And that look isn't even that attractive.
It is weird, it's true. It looks like the dragon's a biped.
To me, despite the fact that the dragon does look quite good on its own, because you can't properly attach it to the tower or anywhere else for that matter, it undermines this set as a display piece.
So, it's an unsatisfying display model.
And a very expensive, short, yet fun campaign where you can't even use your own characters.
You got it. But you know what could have worked better?
I had a feeling you had something up your sleeve.
But he doesn't have any sleeves.
Just to be clear, this project wasn't part of the competition that gave us LEGO's first D&D set. It was proposed by a talented builder known as Yamari 7 years ago, and in my mind would have been the perfect Dungeons & Dragons LEGO set. Something versatile enough so that each campaign would be different each and every time.
That would make the original financial outlay more worthwhile for sure.
So, what is it?
It's something she called Quest Builder. It was a series of modular rooms which you could mix and match however you felt. I tell you, it's what would really appeal to dungeon masters and adventurers alike, especially those who like to design their own campaigns.
Shame she didn't resubmit it.
But did you see how big it was?
Must have been before LEGO set a cap of 3,000 pieces for all idea submissions.
Well, it is composed of a bunch of 8x8 and 16x16 rooms, but you're right, it was likely way too big for a single set. But nothing would have stopped LEGO from modifying this concept to make it fit within their business model. They do it often enough.
Hey, they could produce lots of different mini modular sets which you could pay for individually and combine as you wish.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
And you know why I think this is exactly what gamers want, and it's not just some kind of demented idea of mine?
I have a feeling you're about to tell us.
Because it got to 10K in less than a month.
That's damned impressive considering LEGO Ideas wasn't as well known back then as it is today.
But LEGO weren't teaming up with Hasbro 7 years ago, so that's not what we got. At least, not yet. But hey, Time will tell how successful this official model will be, eh? Who knows what will come next? Are we seeing the birth of the next Ninjago, or will this be another video disaster? Right. I think I've made my point. Feel free to express yourselves
But
in
will
the...
it stop us from continuing our own campaign?
Not at all. Okay. Where were we? Ah, yes. Having crossed a vast and mysterious expanse, your ship's sensors detect a rogue planet.
Ooh, I bet that's why the captain got marooned.
I used the ship's scanners to check for life. Roll for perception. Despite the fact this planet is nowhere near a sun, your scanners reveal that it's teeming with